It's always great catching up with our next guest, Nate Maness, who's got a big fight coming up here. Umar Nurmagomedov, UFC Fight Night, June 25th. Nate, how's it going, man?
Everything's good, man. How you doing?
Doing great. Congrats on getting this fight. How excited were you when you found out you'd be fighting Umar Nurmagomedov, the cousin of Khabib Nurmagomedov?
Yeah, man, I was very excited. I thought about all the different opponents and things like that, and he never came up in my head, man. So it kind of caught me off guard. I was excited for it. I know he's ranked 18, so that puts me right where I want to be. So it's exciting for sure.
And not a top 15 opponent, but still someone that's pretty well known, obviously has a pretty big following. Is this maybe the next best thing other than fighting a ranked guy?
Yeah, it's actually a little higher than I expected. I think I'm 30 or something like that. So yeah, man, it's a big jump. I think they believe in me, and I'm excited for it.
We haven't seen you in a while. September, I think, was the last time you fought. What's been the reason for the layoff for people who might not know?
Yeah, I got cleared the middle of January. I broke my jaw in that Tony Gravely fight. So other than that, I was waiting for about 2 months for an opponent. So we've been ready to go now for a little while. So I'm glad it's finally happening.
And let's talk about Nurmagomedov, undefeated. I mean, I know you fought undefeated guys before, so this is got to be a bit of a treat here. From a style perspective, how are you looking at this one?
You always got to respect the grappling of those guys. Submissions and wrestling. But the thing about Umar is he actually does pretty well in the stand-up. He's got really good kicks, teep kicks. He's got a good question mark kick. Haven't seen him use his hands a whole lot, but he hasn't been in there a whole lot. He gets guys out of there, so I'm excited for the competition.
You strike me as a guy who, at least the way you just described it there, you do watch a lot of tape in your opponents, or do you leave that more to your coaches?
Yeah, I watch here and there. More than anything, I let the coaches take over, and they show me what they see and what they want me to do and things like that. But I do watch a couple of times, yeah.
I know the Khabib fans on social media can be pretty relentless. Is it the same thing with Umar? Have you got any of that so far since the matchup's been announced? You getting a lot of DMs and a lot of people saying a lot of crazy stuff?
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing, but I definitely know now. Yeah, I'm getting voice recordings. I don't even understand the language. They're writing, commenting on every single thing I post. It doesn't get to me, man. It's exciting. I think it's fun time. But I didn't know that was a thing, but I definitely do now.
Anything over the line, or has it been pretty much just like, oh, he's going to beat you, all this stuff? Like nothing, hopefully nothing like personal or anything.
Yeah, no, nothing too crazy. It's their spelling, it's like brudda, don't tap out, brudda, go out like a real man, stuff like that. So it's all good and fun, man. I enjoy it.
Yeah, so that, by the sounds of it, it adds a bit more to the fight, having that big fan base and going against their guy. And again, he's undefeated, so I mean, all the pressure's pretty much on him.
Yeah, I agree. Man, I'm having a good time. I'm just enjoying it. They can comment on every single thing. I don't really respond to it, but I definitely read it, and it's fun. Yeah, he's undefeated, 14-0. He's got a big following. I think this is only a good thing for my career for sure.
And you do have one loss in your career. He doesn't. Did you find when you had that loss, and again, I know it was a close fight, does it kind of take the weight off a bit, not having that O as much? Because I know it comes with a responsibility. People are like, well, no one's beat him.
Yeah, it does take a little bit of the pressure off, but I think more than anything, just you learn a lot more in those losses. And I know it sounds real cliche, and I didn't really believe it till it happened. But I think it's really prepared me for my UFC career, being as tough as I am and taking some shots and still being able to pull out victories. I needed that loss to really become who I am now.
And take me through camp. What does that look like, and what is it going to look like leading up to the fight? Anything different, or has it just been business as usual?
Yeah, business as usual. Two-a-days all the time. I got a nice guy submission for my ground game, jiu-jitsu. We got a bunch of black belts, some ADCC guys. Then my home gym, Tag MMA. Still working every day, getting ready to go over there here in a little bit. But we're working hard, man. We're preparing.
Who are some of the names you get to work with? Maybe some names you might be hearing about in the future as far as some up-and-comers.
Yeah, we got Zane Havenar. He's 3-0 amateur, but man, he's been training a long time. He's a really young guy. I think he's 21, making big waves. Andrew Havenar, he's getting ready to make his pro debut 2 weeks before me. So he's right in the middle of camp right now, really pushing me. We got Bobby Emmons. He's a black belt jiu-jitsu. David Overfield, black belt. Jesse Ray Childry. He's just a monster, man. It's like grappling a bear, which is funny because of the Russians and everything. But yeah, man, we're preparing. A lot of good guys over here.
What's it like being part of a gym that's maybe not as well known, but you guys are, putting in the work, and you could potentially be that next big gym of just, fighters that are on the come up?
Yeah, man, I just think it's a part of my story. A small town, smaller gyms, but we work really hard. And that's all you really need to do to make it, man. As long as you're putting in the work, that's all anybody can do.
Got to ask about the weight cut. I know we got a little bit of time here. Well, more than a little bit of time. We got some, a few weeks before the fight, but how's all that going ahead of the matchup?
Oh man, everything's ahead of schedule. I could make weight here in the next week.
Cool.
You're supposed to get heavier as you get older, but the older I get, I don't know if I'm just managing it better, but the cuts are getting easier and easier. Maybe even a 125 in the future, just depending on how things go. But I'm definitely in a good spot.
Interesting. Okay, so I imagine, yeah. I mean, I guess just did you come to this realization like this camp because the weight's so good that maybe 25 could be an option?
I've been thinking about it the last two or three fights. 135 is so easy for me to make, and I feel good at the class. So I mean, I definitely do a test cut to 125 before we made that jump. But yeah, man, I'm feeling good. It's an easy cut for me. I'm gonna feel great on fight night.
Okay, well, that's good to know. And who's going to be in your corner for this fight? Who's going to be in the cage with you?
My head coach of 11 years, man, Brad Cummings, he'll be my main guy in there. And I got David Overfield. He's a Bellator vet. And then I got my uncle, Aaron Houston. He's been with me pretty much the whole journey from amateur to pro. So those are my three guys. They'll be with me.
How's this fight playing out on June 25th? I know you feel like you're going to get your hand raised, otherwise, why sign the contract? But how do you envision it going down?
I mean, we envision it a lot of different ways, but I always envision, man, landing that hard shot. All he's got to do is give me a few opportunities, and I'll make one count. Always going to be exciting, whether that's him pressing his offense or me pressing mine. You know, I'm here to entertain the fans. But at the end of the fight, man, my hand will be raised.
So you're thinking knockout in this one? Because again, if he's, because you don't get paid by the hour, right?
Yeah, yeah, man. I'm here to put people away, and I get paid the same. So 4 minutes in sounds just as good as 15 minutes in. So yeah, definitely going to put him out.
I imagine after this, you want to get maybe one, two more fights in this year just because of the gap in between the fights. Is that kind of what you're thinking? Again, not looking past June 25th, but I know you kind of have a blueprint of what you want the year to look like.
Yeah, yeah, I'd definitely like to get in at least one more. If everything goes pretty well, man, we can get this guy out of here in the first round, and I'm healthy. I could definitely do two more. Actually, having a baby in December, so I'd like to get in a couple more, stack up a little bit, and then take a little time off just to get everything situated here at the house. But yeah, definitely one more.
That's great. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I did see that on social media. Congrats. You're going to be a dad again. As far as, the date, do you know yet?
I think it's the 28th is the due date, so just right after Christmas.
Okay, cool. I'm the 31st, so December's a good month. I'll just say that. So that's cool, man. You know what? Like how much does that kind of change your mindset a bit during this camp? Just having a baby on the way. I know for a lot of people, when you're having a kid, it's a big deal, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely extra motivation. You definitely don't want to go out there and lose and have to explain that to your kids. So yeah, man, I plan on just cementing my legacy and being able to show him, the things that his dad did and accomplished. So yeah, it's definitely been on my mind. It makes training a little bit easier, the runs and all the hard days, just putting everything into perspective.
I mentioned this fight being, just a really good fight. I mean, I was actually surprised when I looked it up that neither of you guys are in the top 15 because you would, I mean, I think with both of your records and the fact that you guys had so much success, you could almost make that argument. Does a finish here, actually, I won't even say a finish, like a win here. Do you think that does get in the rankings? Because I got to imagine with your record and his record too, like it's got to be something that's going to lead to big things.
Yeah, the close fight, I think it puts me right there. If I do, go in there and do what I say I'm going to do and put him away, I definitely think that I could at least get the top 15. I plan on calling out maybe like a Jack Shore or something like that after, and another undefeated guy. I know he's getting ready to fight Ricky Simone. But yeah, man, I definitely think it should put me right there in the rankings.
And are you a guy that's kind of like, you don't strike me as a guy who's like in a rush to like, get to, these spots in the rankings. Just like whoever they give you, put on an entertaining fight, get the win. Is that kind of the mentality, or you're kind of like, hey, where's my respect here? I got to get in the rankings here soon.
Yeah, it doesn't mean a whole lot to me. It'll be a cool thing when it does happen, but there's time for that. I think they're pushing me towards that. I think they believe in me. They're giving me the opponent that they have. So if they believe in me, I believe in myself. Obviously, if they want to fast track it, I'm down for that.
And correct me if I'm wrong. This is part of a new contract, right? Or at least I know you re-signed with them recently. Did you not?
Yeah, this is my first fight on my new 4-fight deal.
That's right. Okay, yeah, because I remember we talked, and then you had obviously the injury, so you're still out for a bit. So that's good news, man. What about at the top of your weight class, right? Aljamain Sterling won the title over Piotr Jan. Well, actually, he defended his title technically. I keep forgetting that was a DQ win. But what do you think's next? Because it looks like I would think Dillashaw would be next, but we know that he's injured, and I don't know if they're going to give him the first crack. Do you think maybe Jose Aldo could sneak in there and get the title shot?
Yeah, I could see that. I do think that Dillashaw needs to come back and fight for that title. I know all the drugs and cheating and stuff like that, but He did. He was out on top, man. So I think they definitely need to unify that. I think Aljo needs that win to, really be the champ too. I'm sure it'll happen at some point when TJ comes back healthy. He'll get the shot. But yeah, Aldo's been looking great, man. It's crazy as the older he gets. It looks like his weight cut gets easier too. He's looking really good. Cheeto Vera is looking really good. He really impressed me in that Rob Font fight. I'd like to see him and Peter Yan fight. But yeah, man, I like Aljo. I'm a fan of him. Hope to fight him soon.
And if Aldo was to fight Aljo, who do you see winning that fight? Who do you think gets it done?
If his stamina and conditioning holds up for those 5-round fights, I know he's had trouble in the past. I could definitely see his takedown defense giving Aljo a hard time. The cardio is going to be the only thing for me. I'd have to see Aldo do well in those 5-round fights and keep his gas tank high.
I think I asked you this before, but what's it like being a part of sort of this new wave in the bantamweight division? Like, I think you guys have the deepest division in the UFC. Case in point, your fight, not, neither of you guys are ranked, but in the past it was Dominic Cruz and Garbrandt and all these names. And now you're seeing Sterling's, somewhat of a newer champ. You've got Jan, you've got Corey Sandhagen, you've got yourself, you've got, Merab Dvalishvili, like the names go on. What's it like to be a part of this, new division that's, sort of going through a transition?
Yeah, it's exciting. And, the smaller weight classes have never really got a ton of respect, but I think we're definitely deserving of it and earning it too. I can't remember how many former champs are in the division now, 6 or 9 or something crazy. So there's a lot of talent everywhere, man. 1 through 50, it's a hard night out.
Nate, always appreciate the time, man. We're looking forward to it. June 25th, UFC Fight Night. If there's anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media, I'll give you the last word. Yeah,
man. God first, always. Without him, I couldn't be doing this. My family, my wife, all my supporters. A couple of shout outs to my sponsors, B&N Construction, Max Custom Completions, Baker Chiropractic, Team Lynn, Ape Ethics, Merle Painting, All Custom Roofing, Strong Realty Team, Elite Flash Performance, Darren Bronner, Fisher Total Maintenance, Chasers Bar and Grill, Stonebridge Sports, Talkaholics, Lux Motors. We're getting a lot over here, man. I love it, and I appreciate you guys for letting me do this full time. Thank you.